Hey guys, Jeff here, Dice Setters. Um, I have a bunch of new people, a bunch of questions, and I'm going to do my best to sit there and answer as much as I can for you. The biggest question I had was on that long throw, 30 or 40 minutes long, 42 rolls. Did I use a different dice set? The answer is no. I use the same dice set. So you say, well, why is it that when you got your point, did you throw a seven? The reason why that happened for is I want to talk to you about is I lost my focus. Losing your focus. It's okay, I guess, to lose your focus once you hit the point. Of course, we could have hit the all tall small if I hadn't have lost my focus. The same dice set. I am I'm more careful once the puck is up. Once I have a point to hit versus I have already hit the point. Now I'm going to sit there and wait for another point. My fault, but it's one of those things. It's not the first time this happened. It happens quite regularly. So once I get my point, I have to make a conscious effort to be more focused because it does count. I want to get the all tall small. Um, Another question, and I'll explain it to you. People are like, well, you should have had more money on the table. Number one is my money. Number two, I have tried my hardest to put more money on the table, and it never seems to work. It all goes back to being on Carnival. I learned to dice set on Carnival. Their tables, at least I hope they're the same, because I'm going to go on a cruise in like 30 days. Their table is kind of like a cork. And that was the first time I ever saw the all tall small. And there was a guy who was setting a 3V set, and he was just knocking it dead. And that's when I heard the term dice setting, and I was like, well, there must be something to it because he's the only one that's doing this, and he's the only one that's getting the bonus. I want the bonus. So that night, I sat there and Googled it. I sat there and watched some YouTube videos. I don't even know who I watched, but I saw the 3V set, and I came in the next morning and I sat there and tried it. It took me a little while to sit there and get the roll perfect, but I do remember I would hold it, about that high off the table, and I would have it pitch, and I would do R1, have it pitch into the alligator just enough for it to hit, just enough for it to be legal, and I was starting to get it, and I got it down so good I could do a small or a tall or the all, and about every 5 rolls. So every 5 of my turns, I would have a bonus. And I thought, well, this is going great. This is fantastic. So I need to have more money on the table because I'm doing better. Well, every time I put more money on the table, I would not be able to hit my all, my small, my tall. You say, why? Because my focus now is not in setting the dice correctly, making sure everything is good, hitting the wall, everything. My focus is how much money I have on the table and how much money I want to get. I have tried like none other to put more money on the table, and all it does is shortens my rolls, and I don't want that. That Thursday night that I rolled 42 rolls, I did not want you guys to see how much money I was putting on the table. That was not my objective. My objective is to show you the long roll, which I knew I could do. I could do that as long as I'm not focusing on how much money is on the table. As long as I keep focus on my dice set and making sure I roll correctly. I had no idea that many people were watching live from Alex from Casino Quest. If I would have known that, um, I probably wouldn't have rolled as good as I did. You say, why? Because I would have lost focus. And that's my question to you guys. Are you losing focus? People were focusing like, oh, you could have won more money. I could have, but the roll would not have been 42. It would have been less. Because I would have sat there. Now, again, that day I just won, my wife and I just won $11,000. We hit $1,000 with $3. Playing $3 bet, we hit $1,000. So it's not like I was scrounging for money. I had money. I had lots of money. I wanted to play the game with $1,000. That's all I wanted. And I wanted to show a long roll. I didn't get to do that the first time. I think I might have rolled 8 or 10 times the first time. But I was bound and determined to show you guys what dice influencing, dice setting can actually do. Not how much money you can win, but the long rolls. You do with it what you want to. I'll do with it with what I want to. So from that Carnival cruise, I figured out I cannot put 440 on the inside and expect to roll 42 rolls. It's not going to happen. I'll be thinking about that money. It keeps me humble. It also keeps the casino from sitting there wanting to know why it is I'm betting so much. It keeps me under the radar. I can walk into any craps game and betting the way I showed you with the long roll, they wouldn't think twice about it. They wouldn't think twice about me cheating, about who I am, none of that. And that's what I want. But a lot of people were saying, oh, I know strategies. Well, I know strategies too. But I wanted to prove my long roll. Because anyone can win money on a long roll like that. Anybody can. You can also lose a lot of money on a short roll. And I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to have a long roll. And during that, I was up $1,000. At the time of me starting that roll, I think I only had $500 left, so I was already down half. And by the time I cashed out at 1,900. Yeah, 1,900. So 900. But that's what I was trying to prove. I'm a D-backs fan. I remember having JD Martinez on my team, not for the whole entire season, but for at least half the season. And he would do something that none other player would do before he would sit there and step into the batter's box. He would sit there and stand up as straight as he can, take a big deep breath, breathe out, think about what he's doing, step into the batter's box, and he would knock the leather off that ball. What was he doing prior? Focusing. He was thinking about the pitch that could be coming, how he's going to swing, how he's going to stand, all of that. And that made such an impact on many people that it changed the way they approached the batter's box as well. Like Paul Goldschmidt. Paul Goldschmidt did not do that prior to JD Martinez doing that. In fact, Paul Goldschmidt still does that to this day. Stands outside the batter's box, closes his eyes, breathes in, breathes out. What I did was because of concentration. As I would sit there and set my dice, and my dice set was 1, 2, 6, 5, and I set it on my line, I wouldn't close my eyes, but I would sit there and breathe in, breathe out. I would think about not pushing my thumb through the dice that would make them split, but to sit there and let go of my thumb so the dice would come off. Well, they don't roll, but they come off the table like that, so they wouldn't split. They would stay together. And that's something that I learned from JD Martinez. What happens if dice setting is only a hair of advantage? But what if the advantage is more of focusing? I've never thought about that. But it does help. I'm thinking about the roll. I'm thinking about what I want and the outcome. I'm thinking about where I want to place that dice. I'm thinking about, hey, I want to sit there and make sure I don't push my thumb through my dice set. I got your nose. All of that's going through it. So perhaps dice setting isn't really truly dice setting, dice manipulating, as much as people think it is. Maybe it's just the act of being more focused. The act of being more focused, I have a story to tell you, and you tell me. I must have been 7 or 8 years old. And we would have a lot of parties at my house. My mom and dad liked throwing parties. And we knew this guy. His name is Sam Payne. Sam Payne has long passed. He had 2 sons. And I think he had a daughter too. He was actually a pastor. He must have been 500, 600 pounds, maybe. I don't know. He was a very, very large man. And in this party, what we would do is we would set them down in a chair, and you'd have 4 people around them. So 2, 2. The first person would lay a hand on their head, followed by the next one, the next one, the next one, and then got 2 hands, your 2 hands, and they go around. And then after you did that, everyone would go 1, 2, 3, and everyone would go and make this, make this. Everyone would, and you're still holding on to your breath. 2 people would lift on the armpit, 2 people would lift under the knee, and we would pick this man up, to the ceiling. And you could do this forever, as long as nobody sat there and laughed. As long as nobody cracked a smile, because you're like, how am I doing this? I'm only, a young kid, and I'm picking this big guy up with only using 2 fingers. And again, you had 4 people only using 2 fingers. Concentration. That's the only thing I can think of. Concentration. Dice setting / a whole bunch of concentration. You're going to see it. You're going to sit there and look down there, and you're going to do it. Most dice setters aren't quick and fast. They're not those people that, scrub the table down, roll the dice, throw the dice. We're not that slow, but we're slower than a random roller. Don't lose your focus. Alex from Casino Quest, who was sitting R1, that was videotaping it for his podcast live, they changed the dealer on me in the middle of this throw. 42 rolls, and halfway through it, they changed the dealer on me. How dare they? That could have easily lost my concentration, and Alex knew that. Alex knew that could have lost my concentration, so he told them, bets off. Turn my bets off, because he knew that could throw off my concentration. In fact, in the many years ago, they would do this. They would do this to deter a long thrower. If you were anything over 10, they would trade out the stick man for an obnoxious kind of person that you would lose your focus, lose your concentration, and immediately do a 7 out. I don't know how many times I would see this, but most of the time it was with a random roller. This random roller is rolling and rolling. They trade out the stick man, and the very next roll, 7's out. Or I remember one guy that would get close to the mirrors as he would roll, and the stick man goes, hey, if you break that mirror, you're going to buy it. I was like, this is disastrous. The next roll is going to be a 7. And the next roll was a 7. You break their concentration. Don't lose your focus. I want to thank you guys for subscribing. I hope that you're learning something, and I hope that you're definitely helping me. Please remember, I am human. I do make mistakes. Somebody watched one of my videos and said I didn't know what I was doing, and I thought about it, and I'm like, I incorrectly made this video. So I'm going to sit there and take this video down for it to never ever be seen ever again, because I don't know how to fix it. I was treating a come bet as a place bet. It must have been a long night. I don't know. But please, I work hard. I make these videos. I try my hardest not to make any mistakes in my videos. I'm a mechanic by trade. I don't like to have mistakes. You don't want to send a car off just for having it to return the next day and say, oh, guess what? The problem's still there. You don't want to send off a car and have the tire fall off. That's not what I want to do. I want to make the best videos I can for you guys. I'm not here to make money. I do sit there and am monetized. If you don't have Red, you'll have to watch a commercial or two. That money barely pays for the gifts and the shipping that I ship out every year. I'm not doing this for money. I want to sit there and I want everyone to be doing 42 rolls. That'd be awesome. Just think of that. Think of having 3 people on this side and 3 people on that side that their average is 40 rolls. I don't think the casino would like us that way. But it'd be cool. I do make mistakes. And wow, forgive me. I try my hardest not to. And that time, I don't know what I was thinking. But I vaguely remember it. I do remember having a mistake in the video and having to remake the thing. And I guess I just treated the cum as a place bet. I don't remember, but I'm pretty much sure that's what happened. So again, I'm human. Please forgive me. I'm going to show you. Someone wanted the release of that roll, that throw I did, and hopefully that might help you guys. And again, it's not so much, I don't think, as the dice setting as it is focusing. Get a good dice set, focus on what you're doing, get a good table that's not bouncy. If the table's bouncy, you're wasting your time. Just put 50 bucks on the don't if the table's bouncy, and just go to town with that. Don't put any other bets anywhere else. Yeah, you'll lose a couple here or there from the 7 hits and the yo hits when it first comes out, but you'll make lots of money. If the dice continually go over the table, don't even waste your time dice setting. It's not going to do you a bit of good. 50 bucks on the don't, and just hang there for 5 hours, and you'll have a lot of money. And you can thank me for this. Guarantee you this will happen. Yeah, you might lose a couple here and there when people roll 7s. In fact, someone might roll 7, I don't know how many times. You might want to put, after they roll the first 7, put insurance on it. Big red for 12. And if they roll a 7 again, add another 3 to that 12. And keep on doing that. But other than that, yeah, you'll make money. You'll absolutely make money. And that way you can tell which tables to try and which tables not to try. If the dice cannot stay on the table, don't even try dice setting at the table. It is going to be a failure. A true disastrous failure. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. I'll do it across this way, and then I'll do it across that way. 1, 2, 6, 5. All the way down to the table. Ring finger keeps it together. Pinky up. Don't make fun of my dirty fingernails. It's just pick up, let it go. Pick it up, let it go. I gotta get those dice here. And my stick next to me. I'll do it one more time. I'll do it this direction here. 1, 2, 6, 5. These are different sizes. There's plenty of places to see on the table. Even on electronic tables, there'll be an LED that you can always sit there and line your dice up with, and that way you're always there at the same place, same everything, same channel, same bat station, absolutely same everything. And it's just a pick up and down. Again, I don't have my stick with me. I'll do it again. I don't want to sit there and go around the table. Of course, I won't be throwing that close. I'll be throwing from R1, not throwing left from L1. They stayed together. The longer your table and the further away you are from L1 or R1, the harder it's going to be for you to stick that landing. I hope you can see that. I just barely get it closer here. Hold it together, no spin. The best thing you can sit there and see is when it hits, it doesn't do much. I had a camera in the way during filming of that 42 rolls, and it was extraordinarily hard for me to throw correctly. I finally had to push the camera out a hair just so I had more room. That's what you want. You can start off here, work your way in. You don't want to get too close. If you get too close, you could actually have a 7 happen because they will hit each other and sometimes land on top of each other. And then I sit there and pull it back. And I'm trying to use that as different numbers. Once I find a number I like, I'll try to hit that over and over again, that same spot. I should probably use glasses. I might in the future, but I imagine if I wore glasses to the craps table as I was throwing, it would definitely improve my landing zone. But then I'd have to take the glasses off to bet because I'm nearsighted and seeing anything far is very, very difficult. The longer the table, the worse it gets. But I imagine my landing zone would have been even closer with glasses on. And that way I know exactly what it was I was looking at and trying to hit every single time. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Give me a comment or two. Tell me what you guys think. Thanks.